Hi, and welcome to Rock Sun Spiritual YouTube channel. My name is Angie, and I'm a spiritual director through Rock Sun Spiritual. And I am helping people achieve wellness through thinking about people in all the different dimensions of wellness. So I am doing a video today about how divorce can affect you in the 9 areas of wellness. This is not a comprehensive list. This is just to get people thinking about how it may impact their life if you're just thinking about divorce, how it has impact or is impacting your life. And then if you are someone who is possibly thinking about supporting someone or is supporting someone through divorce, it's really helpful for you to think about all the different ways that somebody can be impacted by a divorce situation. So I was really caught off guard, especially my first divorce, because I didn't think about how all the different ways that my divorce was going to affect my life. I just thought, I wanted out of the relationship. I wanted something different. And so I was very narrowly thinking about my life. And so I really encourage you just to go through this process. Everything that I talk about, it's just hopefully a way to inspire you to think about your own life and to reflect and to learn, and most importantly, to grow. So that way you can have a stronger spiritual situation, that you can feel better about yourself. So that way relationships and your life is just as strong as you can possibly have it to be. So we're never going to achieve perfection. My motto is try to make things better, especially when I can. And so I'm going to talk about spiritually how a divorce can affect you. There are positive and there are challenges with a divorce. So in some situations, when you get a divorce, this is a wonderful opportunity. Actually, no matter what the situation, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to learn about yourself, for you to understand why you pick the partners that you do, what is affecting you in a negative way, in a positive way. And so you can do that reflection and learn, possibly through yourself, a lot of different ways: journaling, taking time for yourself. You might want to do it with a trusted friend. You might do it with a family member, maybe through a support group, might be through spiritual direction or therapy, whatever works for you, what avenue. Just the important aspect is to learn when you feel strong enough to do so. And then when you learn those lessons is really to try to grow and helping yourself to be stronger, hopefully that spiritually belief about yourself and the world around you. Hopefully it's emotional strength, socially stronger, whatever area that you can apply those lessons to. On the flip side of that, divorce can also really hurt you, your view about yourself. And so you might start interpreting, that you're a failure, that everything is your fault. You might be unbalanced on your view. It's really easy to look at the other person and blame that person. And then sometimes we're too extreme and blaming ourselves for everything. So there are things that we can learn from. I was in a very emotionally abusive relationship for one of the marriages. And what I needed just to learn is why I was attracted to that person. There was nothing I could have done to make that relationship any better. And so it's important that you don't take on too much responsibility, that you recognize what that other person was doing that was harmful to the relationship or to you or to your family. But for you to also think about what you can do, because that's freeing. Once I realized why I was attracted to people who treated me a certain way, then I was able to search for somebody who was really quite different and who has brought a wonderful addition to my life and to my kiddos' life. So if you are interpreting yourself as a failure, trying to work through that emotion is very important. So it can also bring a lot of emotions that we will talk about later. But it's really important to watch your self-talk when you are thinking about a divorce or going through a divorce or have gone through a divorce. So another aspect of divorce and how it will be affected your wellness is financial. I think a lot of people think about that. So in one way, your finances could increase. You might have more freedom to use your money in the way that you so desire. I know that in one of my situations, my money actually decreased. So that's a negative of what can happen financially, but it also increased. Like one situation, my partner was hiding money and putting funds in an account that I was not aware of. So I actually had more money when that wasn't being drained from my financial situation. So along the lines that if you are in the situation where you have less money, then you might also feel a lot of sole responsibility because you are the one who has to provide for you now. And maybe you were used to two incomes, or maybe the other person was solely providing for you. So that might add more stress to your life, and money, if you have less of it, usually causes more stress. Doesn't always. I know there are people out there who are living off the land and who have figured out how to live with less money, which is awesome. If you're using less resources, and that brings joy to your life. And so another way that divorce affects your life is environmentally. So if you are in an abusive relationship, if there is a lot of harm, a lot of arguing, a lot of stress, a lot of chaos, you might feel so much calmer when the divorce happens, when you're no longer in a relationship with that person. You might actually be able to feel safe. If you are physically, emotionally abused in any way, it might be a wonderful reprieve that in your environment that you are no longer faced with that. But on the flip side of that, if you have been relying on someone financially, that might mean that you have to move. That means that you might have to leave your family, your friends, your job, if you have kiddos, they might have to make new friends. And so it can also cause more stress. You also may have more responsibility to care for your home. So divorce usually brings some freedom, and then it also brings more responsibility. So physically, the way a divorce can affect your life is you might have more time. Not having that other relationship, you might have more time to take care of yourself, to have self-care, might have more time for hobbies. You might feel less stress. Obviously, if you are in a very chaotic and hurtful relationship, and that causes you to be unsafe, all of a sudden you have safety, and that is super important and super exciting. The stress that might come from having more of a financial stress, if that is your situation, and that also means that you might have less time for self-care, and you might have less money, which can bring more stress, which can affect you in a physical manner. So a way that your emotional wellness can be affected through a divorce is that you might feel relief. You might feel joy. You might feel excitement. You might have more time for your hobbies and people who actually bring joy into your life. On the flip side of that, you might feel a lot of guilt. You might be embarrassed. You might be disappointed for all of the dreams that are no longer going to be between you and that partner. You might feel a lack of support. You might become depressed. You might become really anxious. When it comes to your sexual wellness, if you are in a situation that has not been safe, you might have safety, which is, again, super important. You might think about having a partner and a relationship that's more fulfilling to you than what your current relationship is or was. On the opposite side, you might miss your partner in a sexual type of way and may have enjoyed that aspect of your relationship. Intellectually, we talked a lot about stress that can happen. You can relieve your stress, so you might have more focus intellectually. You might be able to think about things, explore different hobbies. but it also might cause more stress, and that depression, that anxiety can cause you to have a struggle with focus, which can lead to occupational wellness. If you have more focus, you might be able to explore more options for you in the career or the work that you're doing. You might have some excitement and more energy to explore your dreams. Might be the opportunity to be able to move to an area or a job that you have really wanted to do in your life but wasn't able to because you were married or with someone. It also might, in a negative way, occupationally, it might be that it forces you out in the workforce and you weren't used to that, or that you might need to do a job that you don't really enjoy, or have a couple of jobs to financially support you. If you are having a decreased focus, then it might make it more difficult for you to do your job. And then socially, wellness is a positive, is that you might have more time, more energy for people that you are really excited to be around. You can grow and hopefully have better relationships. If you are wanting another partner relationship, if you really apply those lessons that you learned about yourself, it's an exciting time for a relationship that is fulfilling to you or stable, safe, whatever it is that you need. You might enjoy having all that freedom to enjoy your hobbies and explore and meet new people. You might be in a situation where it forces you to be a single parent, and maybe you're glad for that because then it's a calmer environment with your kiddos. So you're not arguing with them or having a hurtful relationship. The kids can feel calmer and they can be thankful for not having that chaos in their life anymore if that was your situation. A way that it can be hard for you socially is you might feel embarrassment about your divorce. You might feel like people are going to judge you, that they are not going to understand how you feel. I remember that a friend of mine's father told me when I was going through my first divorce, the statistics of increase of divorces for second and third marriages, which I didn't understand at the time, but that was because you still carry your own baggage and you still make the same decisions. Or I did pick different partners in some ways, but then they also had an underlining similarity as well. And so I continued to pick partners that same way. But that was quite depressing and hard for me to hear. And then if I felt judged and I felt embarrassed. And so it led me to actually not to want to be around people, to not feel strong. And one thing I did well for myself is I said yes to my needs. And so I didn't go to social events and social gatherings for a while until I felt strong enough to be around other people. If in a divorce you're really close to your partner's family and friends, you might not be able to have those relationships with them anymore. As a single parent, that might force you to see your children less than what you really like to do. It may cause you to have more responsibility, which can cause more stress. You have to deal with your kids' feelings and their reactions to the situation, whether that be positive, whether they might have fear, anxiety, depression as well going through that. Might have less input if you are a single parent and you still have to deal with your ex. Now, some people have wonderful co-parenting relationships, and so this is not a concern for them. Another thing is that socially, if you are not addressing your challenges and learning to grow, then you might have a relationship that you find even more hurtful or harmful. So it's just really important to learn and to grow. And I hope when you're going through this very challenging situation or maybe exciting situation, regardless of what it is for you, is that you take the time to really reflect and for you to grow and for your life to be better for that reflection and that growth. So thank you for joining me, and blessed be, always striving for peace. Thank you.